We begin with breaking news tonight of a mass shooting on a college campus. A shelter in place has been issued at Morgan State University in Baltimore, Maryland. Police told a local news publication they have 4 gunshot victims. Their conditions are not known. We will update the story as soon as more information becomes available. Also tonight, it is one of the toughest decisions members of law enforcement say they have to make. When is it time to use deadly force?
Well, tonight, a family dog is dead after getting shot by a deputy. The St. Clair Sheriff's Office calls it justified. Fox News' Jessica Dupek joins us live with a closer look at the details of this case, and it's really heartbreaking on both sides, Jess.
Absolutely, Rup and Taryn. This is one of those situations where it's really no one's a winner, especially the dog that was shot and killed. His name is Rocco. Now, as you said, the St. Clair County Sheriff, he is standing behind his deputies. And part of the reason is because what he saw in the body camera footage. Take a look.
Come here.
That is a St. Clair County Sheriff's deputy you hear behind the body cam. Seconds later, the deputy fires 2 shots, killing the dog named Rocco.
They were a block away, and the police coaxed them with the food, and then they shot him.
Backing up to September 12th, Rocco and a pit bull got out of their yard in downtown Algonac after getting sprayed by a skunk. Their owner, Maggie Meldrum, says she didn't know where they were. A neighbor called 911 after spotting them, and this deputy responded.
We're not just going to ignore that and then find out later that these dogs bit somebody or attacked somebody.
St. Clair County Sheriff Matt King says animal control was tied up on another call. It's normal for deputies to step in. The deputy finds the dogs unknowingly a couple blocks from where they live. He tries to coax them into his squad car.
The dog growls and lunges at the deputy. So the deputy backs up and withdraws his weapon, and the animal does it again, growling, showing his teeth, and lunging at the deputy. And at that point, unfortunately, the deputy felt he had no other action he could take other than get bit or attacked.
I don't believe he was being charged. He had 1 plate of food for 2 dogs, and he was calling them to him. So,
like, what do you expect to happen?
Yeah.
There was an internal review of the deputy's actions. It found he did not violate policy.
He's upset. He didn't come to work that day to have to destroy an animal.
Body cam shows he's audibly upset after the shooting.
Damn it.
I think that he should be reprimanded so this doesn't happen to another dog.
That deputy now getting death threats by some of a growing number of people speaking out against the sheriff's office.
And even if you don't agree with how he handled it, a reaction like threatening people or tell people to kill themselves, I don't understand where that kind of mindset comes in.
The sheriff says the dog's owner has not contacted them directly, but welcomes it. Meantime, Maggie is planning a rally Saturday in downtown Algonac for Rocco, who she says was much more than a pet.
He was like my best friend. I lost my fiance, and he got me through his death, and he was just my best friend.
You might be wondering why the deputy decided not to deploy a taser. We asked the sheriff about that. Sheriff says because of the shape of the dog and all the fur, it's very tough for the taser to really react and act appropriately. It's also been shown when it does attach to the animal to create sort of an adverse effect and make the situation worse. But this is a situation just tough all around. Reporting live, Jessica Dupek on The Edge.
Yeah, you really kind of sit back and go, you just wish that animal control was ready at that time to take this on, because perhaps it could have handled it differently. But Jessica, what can you tell us about this deputy's record?
You know, we asked, if this deputy has ever had to use fatal force against an animal in the past. Sheriff says no, says he's got a good record. And really, they say they don't have to use fatal force much within the sheriff's office when it comes to animals. It's very rare.
As we say, heartbreaking all the way around. Jessica Dupek for us live tonight. Thank you.
We're very concerned why no adult took the child to the hospital. We're very concerned why it took 30 minutes.
An 8-year-old is in extremely critical condition tonight after getting shot in the head. Police were called to a home on Snowden near Schaefer and Finkel this afternoon and were disturbed what occurred. We're told all 4 adults in the house were asleep at noon when either that 8-year-old or another child got a hold of the unsecured weapon. CBS paid a visit to the house just a few weeks ago. One adult was, we're told, with a criminal history of gun charges, and he was found to have multiple weapons in the house. The gun in this case has not yet been found. Charges are expected.
Well, a rip-roaring fire burns through a senior apartment community out in Southgate, displacing residents in more than 100 units.
As Fox 2's Camila Mary reports, it was a mad dash by first responders to get everyone out safely.
A massive fire Tuesday afternoon at Meadows of Southgate Senior Apartment Complex.
And someone called me and said the apartment was on fire. I got here, my dog was still in there. They told me, you can't go in there, you can't go. I said, but my dog in there. So I went in there and I got my dog and I ran back out.
The complex is located on Allen Road near Eureka. Firefighters, EMTs, and police from all over the Downriver community came to help.
You know, there wasn't nobody here yet when we could come walking out. A bunch of Southgate cops, they pulled up, they all went running into the building.
They were able to get everyone out of the burning complex.
You know, we had one firefighter and one police officer have smoke inhalation and had to go to the hospital. There was 3 residents that had to be transferred to the hospital.
You can see where it started, the second middle floor right there. The flames were coming out, it caused the top balcony on fire. Then it went up into the ceiling part.
It went up into the attic, and once it got in the attic, above the fire suppression, above the sprinkler system, and it just chased around the building.
Not only did the fire spread quickly, it took a while for firefighters to get it under control. Denise Samuels breaking the news on the phone to one of her neighbors.
Do you think my cats are okay? No, your cats are gone, babe. I think your cats are gone.
Just feel sorry for everybody, you know. Like the people that were sitting on my porch, they came over here to use the bathroom. She lived in the backside. She was worried about her cat, and other people were coming over here.
And the Red Cross has gotten involved, putting up people in hotels for a few nights. But of course, then people are going to have to figure out where they're going to move. And as a couple people told me, they don't know what they're going to do next. A very sad situation. Reporting in Southgate, Camila Mary on The Edge.
Shocking news tonight out of Inkster.
The city's mayor has been indicted by the feds for bribery in office. Patrick Wimberly is accused of demanding cash payments related to the sale of city property. Wimberly was allegedly provided monthly cash bribes totaling $50,000 to secure the property's purchase. The indictment does not name the person who paid the bribes. If convicted, Wimberly facing up to 10 years behind bars. The mayor has not commented on the charges. Well, for the first time in American history, a House Speaker has been removed from Congress's top position.
And he is not looking to take another stab at it.
I will not run for Speaker again. I'll have the conference pick somebody else. I may have lost a vote today, but as I walk out of this chamber, I feel fortunate to have served the American people.
By a vote of 2016 to 210, lawmakers pull the gavel away from House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. The rare effort was led by Florida GOP Congressman Matt Gaetz. He accuses McCarthy of breaking promises he made to win the job back in January and for leaning on Democrats to pass a funding bill to stop a government shutdown.
I think that this represents the ripping off of the Band-Aid, and that's what we need to do to get back on track.
Due to the unprecedented nature of the outcome, the next steps remain uncertain. Republican Representative Patrick McHenry of North Carolina is now the acting speaker. Oh, another summer-like day in early October, and we've been enjoying it all the way around.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not a huge fan of the hot weather, but I think all the summer lovers are saying, you know what? Winter will be here before we know it. Give us a little bit of warmth.
When there's an ice
and
storm,
heat.
get back to me.
You know me,
okay?
I don't mind that. I don't care.
Nope.
I like the winter. I enjoy it. Not going to apologize
Don't put
for
it into the universe.
It's coming.
You were in the right place for that.
I love Michigan's winters. I do. I enjoy it.
You know, we will feel that in due time, those winter conditions. But right now, we have more of a summer-like feel across the state. Starting off tomorrow morning, we'll be in the 60s. We should soar relatively quickly to the middle 70s, if not upper 70s to near 80 as we approach noon tomorrow afternoon. Right now, a lot of us in the upper 60s, low 70s, 71 in Lansing, 69 in Detroit. And we're all quiet for right now. We do have a system here just west of us. This is potentially giving those in the Plain States and the upper Great Lakes or the Great Lakes region that potential for some stronger to severe thunderstorms. For us, though, heading into the day on Thursday, I think as a whole, we should remain relatively quiet, at least on the severe weather front. We're not necessarily going to rule out that chance of maybe a clap of thunder, but nothing necessarily severe. 85 degrees Wednesday. By Thursday, we're at 74 degrees, a few showers around, and our temperatures are going to be running almost 10 degrees colder. Friday, we're shaving off another 10 degrees. Daytime highs suffer. A lot of us only making it into the middle 60s, with rain chances sticking around not only Thursday, but potentially into parts of the day on Friday and then into the day on Saturday and Sunday as well. Weekend forecast 55 Saturday. Sunday, we are at 53 degrees. The extended forecast, those numbers hanging out in the 50s. Much of next week as well, with dry weather and partly cloudy skies come Tuesday. Roop?
Thanks so much, Stephanie. Talk to you soon. The case against the parents of the Oxford High School shooter moving forward. Today, the Michigan State Supreme Court rejecting James and Jennifer Crumbley's appeal request. With this decision, the couple will stand trial for involuntary manslaughter. Prosecutors argued that the parents' negligence of their son directly contributed to the massacre. Last week, an Oakland County judge ruled the shooter is eligible for a sentence of life in prison without parole, despite being a juvenile. He'll learn his punishment on December 8th.
As the UAW strike nears its third week, more Big Three workers are off the job.
It's the latest development as the strike begins to take an economic toll. Here's Fox 2's Dave Kinchin.
More than 200 workers at GM's Toledo Propulsion Systems are now laid off, and one of the latest ripple effects of the UAW's strike now in its third week. But spirits are anything but down for union members we talked with.
Man, we can keep this going forever. The energy, the people here.
Stellantis workers picketing across town say they aren't fazed by the new GM layoffs, which follow union leadership expanding their protest last Friday.
The layoffs are part of the process. All right, we're all taking a cut. Everybody's taking a cut. What did we give up in 2008? The union gave up their lives, their pensions.
The UAW gave GM a counteroffer after directing more than 2,000 workers at Delta Township Assembly in Lansing to walk off the job. But how much that offer moves the needle, if at all, remains to be seen. GM did say the third quarter sales were up more than 21% with pickups and SUVs despite the ongoing strike.
Well, surprisingly, so far the strike has had very little impact on both sales and prices in the marketplace.
Tyson Jomini, Vice President of Data and Analytics at J.D. Power, weighs in on the impact of the strike on current sales, including a Stellantis report saying that their sales dipped in the third quarter. Jomini says it's still too early to see any key signs.
So we still expect it to be about mid-October before we start to see some of the changes. The first plants the UAW targeted were primarily mid-sized pickup plants, Ford Ranger and Chevy Colorado and others. Those already had extraordinarily tight supply for that segment, so it's hard to see that right away.
And back to the Ford front, Ford says they acknowledge the UAW is putting a hard line on that battery plant creation. That's where there's a stalemate right now. Ford says they have to continue to create these battery plants. These are multi-billion-dollar investments. That's what Ford says. And they say the workers who get hired into those roles for those battery facilities will have the opportunity to decide whether they want to unionize. But Ford does say that workers, specifically powertrain workers, will not lose their jobs while the battery technology creation continues. In fact, Ford says they may need to hire more powertrain workers with retirements taking place. Dave Kinchin on The Edge.